only Christmas tree worth having this year is the Tree of Evolutionary Life, now in its limited edition winter form. Grab this limited time poster now while you can. It depicts every single Pokemon and how they'll be related to each other, including the all-new Melmetal. Using the links below, grab one for yourself or for a friend.
Hey Pokemon Masters, Birdkeeper Toby here, and finally, it is time for another full-on Pokemon theory. Pokemon theories are hard to come up with, they really are. I used to do them all the time, but that's because I had 20 years of games to work with, and now I think pretty much every Pokemon theory is out there. Not to say that the art is completely dead, new Pokemon theories are being found all the time, and in fact, I found a few cool channels, one of them I'm about to shout out, who are doing some really in-depth digging, bits of Pokemon lore, finding connections that I had never even thought of. It's so impressive. I love seeing Pokemon theories. If you ever come up with one of your own, please send me the link to that video or article or post. Anyway, I did one about a year ago where I was talking about Ho-Oh and the legendary beasts. So I was talking about their relationship because in almost every single game where Ho-Oh shows up, the legendary beasts do as well. But other than the fact that they appear together in a lot of games and there's this one consistent myth about Ho-Oh reviving the legendary beasts, there's not actually a lot to connect the two. There is one game, however, where the legendary beasts show up and Ho-Oh doesn't. In fact, it's a different set of legendaries show up. That game is the first Pokemon Ranger. It was a game I played earlier this year. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I was confused to find that the ruins where you find Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, you find an Entei there that's sealed away. These same ruins are covered in the markings of Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. What a nonsensical pairing of legends. That makes no sense to me. That said, maybe there is a connection. But to give me help with this one, I am teaming up with another Pokemon theorist. Someone, like I say, one of these channels who is going so in-depth with the Pokemon lore. In fact, I would say that this guy probably knows a lot more about Pokemon lore than I do. His theories are amazing. He has such a small channel. It's linked below. I think at the moment it has like 100 subscribers. Go and subscribe to it. It's really great. And his name is The Ruin Maniac. So go and show him some love.
Hello there, Toby. Thanks for having me. Let's jump right in with some of the connections starting with the evolutions. There is a theory suggesting that the three Pokemon resurrected as the legendary beasts are the evolutions. The legendary beasts were born in Ecruteak City, cultural center of the Johto region, when the Brass Tower burned down in a mysterious fire. Three unknown Pokemon were trapped in the building and perished. After that, Ho-Oh came down from the sky using its power to revive those three Pokemon as Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Ecruteak City is home to the Kemonogars. They act as guardians for Ho-Oh, Lugia, and the Bell Tower. In the Gen 2 remakes, in order to be able to face the legendary Pokemon, you'll have to battle all 5 Kemonogars. And which Pokemon do they use? Evolutions, of course. Similar to how in Pokemon Crystal, the Wise Trio were the guardians of the Bell Tower, and they used evolutions, plus the detail of Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon's abilities, which are the same as the hidden abilities of the beasts, deepening their connection. Additionally, in Pokemon Ranger, the evolutions are used as keys to get into the temple at the top of the Shikura Mountains.
Now, this temple in Fior isn't the only one of its kind. There's another one in the Jungle Ruins, and on top of that, there is also one in the Johto region. It's called the Embedded Tower, and it has the same kinds of markings. And when you go to the Embedded Tower in Johto, you're informed that it was built by people who had traveled there from Hoenn long ago. People who have migrated to worship the great legends Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza, which makes me think it can only be one group of people from Hoenn, our good friends, the Draconids, Zinnia's people. These people long ago also built the Sky Pillar and the Cave of Origin, which again both share those same markings. They are a group of people that have links to Groudon and Kyogre, but primarily they worship Rayquaza, and they are said to have other links in Johto because they are a bunch of dragon worshippers, and there is a bunch of those in the Johto region as well, in the Dragon's Den. And their leader in the manga has a Rayquaza on his head, so it's already been theorized that those two organizations are definitely related.
So the Draconids built a temple in Fiore. This makes a lot of sense because they not only visited the Johto region to build the Embedded Tower, they migrated to other places of the Pokemon world. Next to the Sky Pillar, we can find Pacific Locktown, place where the residents seem to pass down the legend of Rayquaza, Pokemon worshipped by the Draconids. We start to notice a connection between these two groups, but this goes deeper. In the Pokemon Center, you can find an old man who explains that Pacific Log Town was founded by a group of people who lived their whole lives traveling across the sea. This sounds really similar to the Seafolk people from the Alola region. These people are described to be skillful sailors with knowledge of myths and the stars. Sound familiar? The similarities with the Dragonets are clear, and not only that, the Seafolk village has a similar design to Pacific Log Town and Summertime, place located in the Fiore region. But there is one more piece to this puzzle.
Yes, the Kimono Girls. Now, at first you might wonder how in the world they tie into all this, but here we have two ancient organizations, both of whom have ties to Johto and Hoenn, as well as legendary Pokemon and Infinity Energy. And not only that, it would seem that the Kimono Girls actually appear in the Hoenn region, outside the Cave of Origin, and guarding the Sky Pillar. We also know for a fact they visited the Hoenn region in the past because they gave Captain Stern, who was working on the Sea Marvel project, they gave him the Crystal or Clear Bell, depending on which version you're playing, or it might be the Tidal Bell actually, the bells that are to do with Ho-Oh and Lugia. They gave this item to Captain Stern, the person who's working on the Sea Marvel project where they were trying to harvest Infinity Energy. It's kind of like how AZ's ultimate weapon worked. And by the way, AZ, of course, he also appeared in Hoenn outside the Cave of Origin. I'm sure there's all a big connection there. He actually planted the Tree of Life that's outside the front of the Cave of Origin. Look, you can see his little AZ Floette flower right there. Anyway, I digress. The point is here that there are relationships and connections between the Kimono Girls and the Draconids. Maybe at one point these organizations were one and the same.
As Toby said, there are Kimono Girls guarding the entrance of both the Sky Pillar and the Cave of Origin, places related to Infinity Energy. This is thanks to the Draconids and the energy coming from within the cave, energy which makes Kyogre and Groudon's primal reversion possible. So, due to their links with Pacific Log, the Draconids traveled to other regions. We have the Dragon Tamer clan from the Dragon's Den in Blackthorn City. Clan previously explained to be descendants of the Draconids. In the shrine, the leader of the clan will make you a series of questions to see if you are worthy of receiving the Rising Badge. After gaining his approval, he will tell you about the legendary Pokemon Lugia, confirming that they have a connection with the people from Ecruteak. There is also Mr. Pokemon, who has on his power the stones used to invoke the Weather Trio in the Embedded Tower, and he is friends with the Kimono Girls, being them the ones who gave him the Mystery Egg. And there is a hiker in the Embedded Tower. He seems to be the same hiker who is researching the Sinjoh ruins, place built by people from Sinnoh and the ruins of Alph, suggesting that the ruins of Alph and the tower have some kind of link between them. In the ruins you can find evidence of people worshipping Ho-Oh, so it is safe to assume that the Kimono Girls are related to these ruins.
The point is, with all of this in mind, the Draconids and the Kimono Girls, they have ties to Hoenn and Johto, to Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, Ho-Oh and Lugia and Infinity Energy. The Kimono Girls have ties to the Evolutions, which are the creatures that are supposedly revived to create Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. The theory is so solid and so popular. And the Evolutions are the things that you need to get into the temple in the Fiore region. Almost like it's some kind of code between the organization that created those temples, which is almost definitely the Draconids. Perhaps it wasn't even Ho-Oh who revived the beast in the first place. Perhaps it was the Kimono Girl and their ability to hopefully understand and maybe even use Infinity Energy. After all, we've never actually seen Ho-Oh revive stuff. It is just in this one myth, this one legend that we hear about it time and time again. Perhaps that feat was ascribed to Ho-Oh, but it doesn't actually belong to it. Maybe what the Kimono Girls did to the Evolutions to create the legendary beasts is kind of like what AZ did to his Floette, bringing it back to life, reviving it. And this would explain why there are Raikou, Entei, and Suicune appearing in these temples that have nothing seemingly to do with Ho-Oh at all. And by the way, I can't believe I'm only just thinking about this now as recording this Pokemon theory. The Draconids almost definitely built those temples in Fiore, or Fori, or however you pronounce it. They definitely built those temples because the trials that you need to undertake to get to Entei involve you completing puzzles and battling for dragon Pokemon. And the same style of ruin in the same region involves you using evolutions to get into the temple as well. So the Dragon Organization and the Evolution Organization, the Draconids and the Kimono Girls, almost definitely related. And the thing is, these aren't even the only legendary Pokemon that the Draconids have their ties to. They have their fingers in a lot of legendary pies. They also have ties to the Reggie trios, but for that, you're gonna have to head on over to the Ruin Maniacs channel to see kind of part 2 of this Pokemon theory. It's not even part 2, it's a separate Pokemon theory, but it's linked with the same stuff, the same thing, the Draconids. Pokemon lore, getting engrossed in Pokemon lore is very much the Ruin Maniacs thing, so I suggest you heading over to his channel right now, checking out that theory. I'm over there as well. I'll see you over there, and of course, soar high, Pokemon Masters.
Thank you so much to those who support me on Patreon right now. Links are in the description. Go ahead and sign up. There's a bunch of cool perks. And a massive thank you to those who have gone above and beyond this month, Yoni Soben and Xavius. Thank you.